So there we are. Saturday morning, wonderful day in the Northwest. It's going to be good for everyone. We're coming up to National real soon, and just as a reminder, that's going to be next month, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So if you don't have your registration yet, get with your mentor, and maybe you can see what you can do about getting a room and getting registered. So this morning we've got the pleasure of Rita Wheeler. She's going to be discussing a couple of different things, and I think it's really cool. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Rita. She went to a presentation with Brian Drollinger, and to check out what Take Shape was all about. And she kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's a no-brainer. She lost 43 pounds, and that was over 7 years ago. So she's been able to lose the weight, keep it off, which is really cool. And so she became a health coach, and she's now she is now a integrated regional, which is pretty cool. What she's going to be talking about is time scheduling, and identifying and centering your time around what matters most. Now, she also wants to do a screen share, and so that we can look and see what she's got going on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to her now. Rita, if you'd like to do your screen share and unmute yourself, then everything is going to be, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I'm really excited because, what I noticed with time is that you can't manage it really, even though we say time management. We use it on different days over time to the next day. And I don't know if any of you have actually had things where you just waste a whole day and go, what did I get done? But, or you're fixing to get started, to get ready to get started. So it's really important to really put in what matters most. And, working with your mentorship team on your aim to stay is really important, identifying your why and why you're doing this, because you have a whole life. You have a family, you have things that you want to get done, but also this is an important piece in your life also. So it's really important to see how that all fits. So work with your mentorship on that. And of course, there's a few other pieces that I like. The structural tension is what you're doing. So it's your actual, where you're at, where you want to go, and your actual steps. But even before that, we really need to look at really where we spend our time on a daily basis, because how many times do things just take over? And a lot of people just have life happen, and then we have emergencies come up, and they can take our life away and get us way off track. And so what I've noticed being self-employed and a single mom for a long time, and when I was married, I did the same thing, is if I didn't schedule it, it wasn't going to get done. And the more I tried to remember everything, something got left out or something got forgotten. And so what I found, it's really important to really look at where all of this fits in. And so I'm going to pull up a screen here. Oh, do I click a screen share, Rick? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Should be right down in the middle of the Zoom window where it says share screen.
Okay, let me get there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Technical difficulties here, folks.
Let me undo that. Okay.
We're going to get rid of a couple of seconds here.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Okay, I've got it.
All right.
Yep, I think I've got it now.
Okay, good. And then you'll click on the window that you want to share. There we go. Aha.
Okay.
All right, looking good.
Okay, there we go. I want to do this. Is that it? Oh, I got it. Okay. But the real thing is scheduling your life and your health. And here we go. these are the things that I found have been very helpful for me over the years. And as I
Okay,
try to
Rita.
figure out,
Rita,
yes,
we're only seeing a list of documents. We're not actually seeing the document.
oh, it's on my screen.
Okay, so the screen that you need to share it to, switch it over.
Okay, stop that.
Okay, so now we've lost the screen share. You want to screen share again. You're going to get a couple of windows that come up.
Okay, screen share.
Uh-huh.
All right, I have desktop, Finder,
Well,
shares.
whatever you're going to share, click on that. It'll highlight the window.
This one here.
Okay, well, that's the same thing as what we had before.
So you're not getting what I have?
No. What we're getting is we're getting a list of documents that you're sharing. We see your cursor.
Okay.
All
Let me
right.
get rid of that. Okay. Then, do I have to click this screen share again?
Yes.
Okay. And this one goes away.
Can you make it?
Is it now? Can you see it?
No, nothing yet. So why don't we just go ahead and talk
Never
about that
Yeah.
document, and then maybe you can post that into on the Facebook page. How would that work?
Okay. Okay, I'll talk with you about that. How to
Okay,
do
let's
it.
talk about that.
Because I actually did a PowerPoint, and so it's going to look like this. I got a quadrant like this. So what I have is what I do every so often is I write down all four aspects. One is a not important, not urgent um, square, and identifying the things that are time wasters, and that's what those are. Is they're not important, they're not urgent, they're just things that we do, like the TV. Facebook can be a time waster. You can get lost in it. Don't confuse this with personal time or things that you're doing for yourself or with your family, but just texting, just responding to things, doing things that are gaming, things like that, that are just going to waste your time. Sitting there doing nothing, that's another one. So those things take a lot of time out of our, or worrying. That's another one that is really big. So find the things that are really not important and not urgent in your life. And then the other square, which we'll share, is the not important, urgent. And those are things that are other people's agenda for you. Those are things that years ago, before we had Facebook and all that, the phone would ring, you'd have to answer it. Well, you have a voicemail for a reason, so it doesn't interrupt your life. So it's really important to take control with that, or it will take you. So you're always in reactive mode rather than in proactive. And so when my phone rings, if I'm having a conversation with someone, my phone may ring and they'll say, well, you got to answer your phone. I says, no, I don't. I have an answering machine for that. I'm talking with you. So the phone, it's best to silence it, but otherwise I'm always responding unless I'm waiting for an urgent phone call or an urgent message. Because then I'm in control. So when you make the call or you make the thing, then you're in control of that. Otherwise, you're just in reactive mode. The thing that you really want to make the largest list on are the important, not urgent things. Those are our daily activities. And those are daily things that need to be done with your business, with your life. Then they don't become urgent unless you don't get them done. So it's like paying your bills. It's not urgent until you were late for one. So it's scheduling time to do those things. Cooking, laundry, making your phone calls to your clients. Those aren't urgent unless you haven't been doing them. And then all of a sudden it becomes a panic. So you really want to make sure these are scheduled in your Zoom, you're talking to people, being mindful when you're out. When I go out, if I'm on a mission, I've got errands to do I stop and take a few minutes to talk with someone? So I always have that in the front of my mind, what I'm going to do and why. So that way everything becomes important in my life, but not urgent. I'm walking through my life. And as my life changes, I've had to readjust these things. So if you have small children, as they grow, your events and things change. As your children leave and they're grown, then your life changes again. So you really have to reassess these every so often. I know that I get into that where I go, oh, it's time for me to reset and relook at things. When you don't do the things that are necessary in your life that really matter for you, then everything falls into, I call the important urgent square. And that's crisis mode. And people love adrenaline. We love our adrenaline. There's adrenaline junkies out there that like to work at the last minute on everything. But your life shouldn't run that way, because there's enough adrenaline going on because it's exciting to be in a business like this, that you're helping people. But when everything is in a panic mode, then you're overwhelmed and everything falls here if you don't take care of them on a daily basis. So I always say, schedule things in so that you have the free time when something does happen, because there are going to be things in life. Somebody, just a few weeks ago, my doctor, who's only 52, had a stroke, very healthy. Things happen, and his life was in order. So now he's got a nice big break in there, but he's doing well. So, things happen where it changes your whole life. So if you're doing things regularly, then when those things happen, you can handle them and not just have everything fall apart in your life. Because we can create enough excitement by ourselves without any problem. And so I really invite you to really take a look at putting things and streamlining your life to make it more simple. And sometimes just taking the time to do this, and then we go, oh my gosh, I got to take more time to do something else. But if you just take a few times to identify where everything is and how to do that, you will get more done. And I like to get more done with less time. The other thing that I use is you can go on Google, and it's blank weekly schedule sheets. You can get one of those on Google, and they're like this. I'll hold this up since I can't. And it's a weekly plan sheet from Sunday to Saturday. I think there's one that says class schedule from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. It has the hours in there. And what you do with that is you put in everything in your life. And I usually like to color code it. So if you have another job and you work for somebody else, you put that in there because you're trading time for money. You're working for someone else. You can't do anything else. That's what you put on there. And I usually use gray for that. But then you put on there the things that you're doing. I use green for time, like Take Shape for Life, the green. And I kind of will highlight the times when I'm making money. So it's the things that bring money in. So that would be your client calls, your follow-up, things like that. Then there's the blue time, which is like our Zoom calls. These are great. They're training. So look to see how much is that, because we can do a lot of training, and I think we're overworked and underworked is what I say. So I have to really be mindful of where I'm spending all of my time in that area. And then also put in there your family time, and you would just select a color, like if you want to do yellow for sunshine. If you're married, you want to have a date time. So you want to put those things in there so things don't encroach on those times, because those times with your family are important. Of course, personal time, your spiritual, to feed your mind, if you're reading, and your exercise. So you really want to make sure you have kind of an ideal schedule. It doesn't always come out that way, but you have a plan of how things go in your life, so you're not just trying to fit your life around Take Shape for Life, because that can take your life if you do too many things. So it's Take Shape for Life. So you organize some of that, and only you can do that. And if you have a large family, or you're married, you want to have a little family meeting on what is important to each person. When my daughter was young and we had baseball, dance, all those had to be in on the schedule. And then I could put everything in so that my life would fit and I could get all my work done without feeling I was leaving something out. or taking away from. My daughter never felt I worked as much as I did because our time when I was with her was very focused. So that way you're not always thinking. Now, if we were out to dinner or something like that and somebody I wanted to say something to, there was an agreement made that I could talk business or whatever to make that, not miss an opportunity. But again, if you're out on a date with your husband or wife, and that has to be an agreement because it can become a whole consuming. And sometimes they get a little crabby if you're talking business all the time. So sometimes you have to set it aside and you talk nothing but one-on-one. So those are agreements that have to be made within the dynamics of your family, because then they're going to feel that they're not as important. And you really want to keep that value up and really keep that connection, because your family is the most important. And when they're on board, then what's going to happen, you're going to have an agreement and you're not going to discuss anything. And then somebody comes by and they say, aren't you going to say something to them? And so then it's their idea and you're all on board. And you go, that's a good idea. I think I will. That's okay with you. So then that can change. But it's really important that communication, and you really have to practice the communication within the family dynamics and the closeness, because that communication will go on out into the community, and then that will attract more people, because we're all about getting America healthy, and it changes in the mindset. So if you're really mindful of that, you're not go-getting, you're just being, and people are attracted to that. And of course, it's easy to know what to do and to make the calls and to work with your mentor, but how to fit that all in so it runs smoothly and doesn't feel like you're trying to push something in on something or trying to sell something. I don't know. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, because you really need to have it fit together as a cohesive thing. And it doesn't always go that way, but if you kind of goof up, you just go, oops, I got to go back to the schedule. So you put things in that way, and then you're putting your big rocks in first, and then all the other things flow in, and everything fits well, and your life just runs a lot smoother. So when you have some things happen, you'll be able to handle those things. And that's pretty much the short and the long of it.
Wow, Rita, that is pretty cool, because as it is, you've taken you broke out the important things, the unimportant things, and you've been able to identify those, and then you've been able to schedule time. Schedule time, which is dedicated to whatever the importance is, right?
Yes.
That a couple of really good important an aspect that I like is the fact that the one-to-one or one-on-one, when you're scheduled time with your spouse or significant other, and that time is dedicated with them. I've been accused of not being able to go anywhere with my wife and not have something to say to someone about take shape. So it can be annoying to our spouses or significant others if we're always in that focus mode and always consuming TSFL. Great point. Does anybody, I'd like to open it up now. Does anybody have any questions? I think, see, we have a chat here going on. Okay. Well, Penny, thank you. She has a room at the Marriott for July 8th through the 12th. So she's looking for another room. Okay, well, we'll get back to that here in just a couple of seconds. Let's talk about anything. Anybody has any questions for Rita, and how this is works for her and incorporates it into your business or your life, because I think it's important to schedule those things and making it real important as to being dedicated to that time, on point, on purpose. I think as we get it dribbled on us a lot from Troy. There's Mr. Troy. He's coming on in. Well, I don't know where he's going, but it looks like he's done walking down to the motor room. But anyway, great points, great points, Rita. I think we should all probably be able to take that. Are you going to be able to post that information?
I'm not sure. I may need to talk to you. I actually did a screen thing, and I thought I could get it on there, but we
Okay.
tried.
All right. Well, we can work on that together as well.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome. No problem. Anybody have any questions? All right, go ahead and raise your hand. Nobody talk all at once. Okay. Well, if there's not, I wanted to take a couple seconds. If you're not aware of this, okay, so go ahead. We do have one question. You want me to go ahead and unmute you, or here, I got you. Go ahead.
So I was just wondering, how do you personally do that for yourself in your life? Do you just compartmentalize things, or?
I usually actually do, what I do is actually an ideal plan of how things, all the things in my life that need to get done. And then I realize I do have a lot of free time, which makes it really nice. But then I don't make it so rigid that I'm not flexible. So I always have to, each night I look at what I'm going to do the next day and make my list of probably the 6 most important things that need to get done. And I don't always get everything done, but I pretty much stick to that so that I can keep breathing. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed, and then nothing gets done.
Thank you.
But if anybody needs any help, I would be more than happy to help them with that personally.
Very good. I like that. So we'll be able to help one another. So as I was going to say, we do have, and I don't know if you've heard about it yet. Maybe you've been in the Zoom, the Habits of Health class that we're going to start. This is going to be something that's going to be really important to you and your business. And this is going to begin July 21st. So we've posted in the Facebook group a document which you can utilize to invite your clients and your coaches. And what we're going to do is we're going to start the online Habits of Health class July 21st at 6:30 p.m. and that's going to be Pacific Standard Time. Troy and I are working on a PowerPoint presentation and a Zoom presentation. So we're looking for a lot of people to come in with this, and we're probably going to have 100 or so. It's another layer that I think is going to be super important for those clients that are working with the Habits of Health. This is going to parallel exactly Dr. A's book, and of course we're going to work this through 12 weeks. So it's going to be every week, every Tuesday for the next 12 weeks when we start that. And I'm going to have an event, or Troy's going to have an event on Facebook as well, and we'll have a little bit of a training session on how we're going to invite people. And so there's going to be more of this to come. So I'm really excited with that. So thank you, Rita. This was great. I am very excited to have this information. And what we'll do is we'll get this information posted up on Facebook, and Rita and I will get together here in the next while, and we'll move some things around. So personally, I've got an event working here in Puyallup that we're going to be doing this next couple of days. But in between, when I can get a couple minutes here, Rita, we'll get together and we'll get that taken care of. So anything else anybody would like to add, or some questions?
Hey, Rick, I was gonna kind of point out a little bit.
I know you touched on. Welcome, Troy.
Yes. I know you touched on the habits of health, and again, guys, that's going to be really important going forward. And I know Rick kind of mentioned that there will be we'll be putting up basically an event for that on Facebook. We'll be working on that. Should be this next week, and by Thursday, I know Rick and I were talking about we're gonna do a little bit of how you're able to share that event on Facebook. So that's something that will be next Thursday. Also, I didn't catch a lot of what Rita was doing there, but I know time management is something I'm always working on, and I think that was a really good subject and really good. I know she did a little bit of PowerPoint on that, so I'll have to look at the.
Well, we tried.
Kind of see. That's okay. Hey, you know what this is? And Rita, this is the thing. This is for everybody. This is what this is for. As in, our Saturday morning is for you guys, for you start getting comfortable with these kind of things. So you basically fumble. You want to get back up.
Absolutely. Good point. You still there, Troy?
Really works a lot of bugs. Oh, am I there?
You're here.
Am I gone?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So the signal's not too great, but this is really what Saturday morning is about you guys. About you guys to really be able to understand how to do a somewhat of a presentation and get comfortable with other people. So that's important, really important. That's all I got, Rick.
Okay, well, I think you're right, Troy, and the fact that time management is very important. And if you take those things that Rita's pointing out, categorize them in such a way that so that they're important in your life, and then you can prioritize them. That way, it'll help organize your time, and you can be dedicated to your business as well as your family, and you won't be overwhelmed. So that's great. Okay. Interested in seeing the chart. Sounds helpful. I think it will be as well. So thanks, Rita. Thank you again, and hopefully everybody you have a great weekend. This is about it for today. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully you have a good weekend. Thanks, guys.